your boy Digital. And to my left, I got
It's JBR on the beat, bitch. JBR to B97. Let's get it.
And on my far right here, we got
It's Ghost Boy from the 609. What's good? We turned up in this bitch. Yes, sir.
And right now, you can't really see his ugly ass because he ain't sitting down the fuck yet. But we got my boy DeVilla over here. And right here to my right,
You already know what the fuck going on.
we got Miss Tasha Lee, y'all. Make sure, give it up for Tasha Lee, y'all. Give it up for Tasha Lee.
Absolutely.
So how you been, Miss Tasha? How you been? What's been going on with life?
Life been lifing.
Life just been lifing.
Yes.
Respectfully.
It's just been going. Now, if y'all don't know, she is the owner of the Tasha Lee podcast.
Tasha Lee podcast.
Now, you feel me? Tell us about that. Tell us about the whole Tasha Lee podcast and what is it about? What made you start it? Actually, let's go there. What made you start that?
So don't start crying.
I'm not. We here. This is a no.
This is a safe space. This is
a very safe space.
Don't
cry.
Yeah.
I'm a whole gangster.
There we go.
Okay.
This space is for creative freedom and equity.
I'm just saying it might get emotional.
Yeah,
I
because
might,
you don't know if the next person might need to hear this.
Nah, real shit.
You don't
First
know.
one to cry,
You don't know
bitch.
what people going through. This is for
First one to cry,
And
bitch.
and this is what Tales of the Trenches is about.
Right.
Okay.
So if it happens, it happens. Go ahead.
Okay.
Speak your
So my podcast is called Talking with Tasha Lee Podcast. I have a little theme song I created with my brother. His name is Lava.
Shout out Lava.
Yes.
Shout out to bro.
He
Yes,
did
sir.
his thing because Lord knows I didn't really do my thing, but we tried. So my podcast is actually based off of mental health.
Okay.
I went through a whole thing where I was dealing with a narcissist. I dealt with them for 7 years in a relationship. Due to respect, I don't say who they are,
Right.
but they tried to kill me twice in front of our kids.
I can
They-
only imagine.
Yeah, they ripped my hair out. They broke my nose. They did a lot of things. They tore me up mentally, emotionally, physically.
That's about it.
You know, and when I left with nothing.
Right.
And it was like literally financially, I had no credit. I couldn't get a car. I couldn't get a house. I couldn't get nothing.
Right.
So being as though I went through that and I learned that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, meaning when you're growing up and depending on your foundation that you grow up with, it plays a lot in who you date.
Right.
So if you have the opposite sex, like say your mom, she's a narcissist. She's always being mean to you. She's always, just not treating you right. You now unconsciously will look for that in a woman, and then you'll be
And that's
sitting
why
there.
It's important for you feel
Exactly.
me, the parents to be in their lives so they know.
Not even in their lives, be positive, know how to parent, because a lot of these people out here don't know how to parent.
Not at all.
So
Those developmental stages.
it
At
goes.
what point were you like, yo, I'm out of here?
I was just about to ask that
I checked out
because there's a lot of people that need to hear
like
that.
2 years before I left physically.
But what made you say like, "Yo, this is it. I'm done." Like, because you could have still stayed
The straw
to
that
this
broke the
day.
camel's
Yeah,
back.
that's true too.
Well, I wouldn't have been here.
You said 7 years?
7 years.
In the first 2 years was when, after the 2 years, you're like, I'm checking out? Or?
So no. So like it was, it was real rocky from the beginning. But because I was very negligent and just ignorant to like all the signs, I didn't have anybody like giving me the red flags, telling me
Right.
you shouldn't, because I had other people tell me, "Oh no, this is normal. This is
Oh, for
okay."
real?
Really?
Like,
Crazy.
yeah, I've talked to women where
And
they're
it's
like,
crazy that we come from a generation that think that this is okay now. Like,
girl,
it's
that
crazy.
shit happened to me.
Well, talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, what were the specifics? Like, what were some of the red flags that just were, like, if you were to look at them now, like, from back then, it's just like, oh, this shit is crimson. Like, it's screaming. Like,
the biggest red flag is when I stopped being myself. Because I stopped
100%.
Yeah,
dancing.
'cause that shit will
Right.
turn
I
you
let
to a
somebody
whole nother
dictate my
different person.
money.
right,
I let somebody tell me what I can and cannot wear.
right.
And it wasn't like, oh, you can't wear this. It was more manipulative. So it was like, I don't like that. That's ugly. You should wear this.
You
It
fucking
was
with
more
your
of that.
mind.
Yeah. So it was like, oh, okay. Like I'm I'm gonna be honest, I don't wear tights. I'm not that type of female. I don't want to show off my figure. Like, I'm a tomboy. Like, I enjoy dressing. Like, I got these cargo pants. I love these. These is comfy. Like, this my thing.
Cargo pants go hard, bro.
Yeah, they do.
Right.
They do.
But that person would probably tell me, no.
Right.
Yeah.
And put me in some tights and say, you look cute in this. This is more comfortable. This is more like, like just persuasive.
But you did it for that person because you like felt at that moment like I love this person.
Yeah, because as a woman, when I was raised by a white woman that dated a black narcissist man, and what I learned from my white side is you submit. And I was submitting to the wrong person.
Right.
I was loving on the wrong person. I was giving husband treatment to the wrong person.
That's crazy.
And now that I've seen and been around other men that treat me a lot better,
Right.
it's like when I deal with this person, I don't let a lot of things happen no more. Like, there's no talking to me crazy.
Yeah.
There's no more, oh, you could do this and get away. Because it's like, for what?
So you healed those parts that thought it was okay before.
Like, I don't tolerate a lot.
And you
Oh,
shouldn't.
truth be told, you don't really kill those
Yeah.
parts. You still have them with you, but you just find a way to deal with them.
Right.
Because
Now-
at that point, like, who you are is always gonna be you for the rest of your life. But it's just, the decisions you make is what's gonna really dictate that.
I'm going to
But-
ask you a question.
Go ahead.
All right. So, you ever look at your, at the domino effect of your family? And you ever compare some of your, like, you and your parent, or like your parent towards your grandparent and so forth?
Going through
Well,
it right
the
now.
only parent
Yeah.
I'm about to say the only parent that I really had in my life was my mom. Didn't
Okay.
have any grandparents.
Neither did I.
Yeah,
Because
When
the
you
re-
look at it, like,
the reason why I'm saying that is because our timelines are very similar.
What you mean?
So, like, me, my mom, my grandma, about 5 generations of us.
Okay.
We all went through similar things at
ancestral-
similar times.
ancestral curse you gotta
yeah,
break
that
out of.
generational curse.
Generational
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So because I stepped away from mine and I didn't sit and I didn't tolerate it,
Right.
I feel like I'm breaking something right now.
See, and
Absolutely.
your
Like-
future kids gonna learn that. too.
Exactly. Like I
Exactly.
teach my daughters and my son, you don't talk to people crazy.
Right.
Like love don't hurt. So if somebody puts their hands on you, that's not love. Just like me with
my
my
parents don't teach that at all.
Nah, real
I'm gonna
shit.
tell you something that I teach my kids that I know for a fact most parents don't do. Is when I talk to my kids crazy, like say if I had a bad day, because PTSD does exist, right?
Yes,
Yes.
it does.
So
100%.
my trauma was
Anxiety, too.
my oldest daughter looks like her person exactly, right? That was triggering to me.
Right.
So sometimes I would like be really vicious to her. And this was like before therapy. Not with like hands or anything, just with words.
Right.
Just
And
remember what you just said about therapy, because I do have a question on that too.
Right.
okay. So I would say something like maybe like shut the F up, get out my face, right? And it would be more so I'm playing trauma in my head, but she's just existing and don't realize what she's existing in. And I would have to check myself, and I would go back to her when I calm down, and I would be like, you know what, I apologize. I talked to you crazy and that's not okay.
Right.
And I would tell them, do you accept my apology?
Right.
And, of course your kids
Right.
want to accept it, but I tell my kids, you don't have to accept anything.
But you're setting that standard though.
Exactly.
Right.
Because I don't want my grandkids to be talked to crazy, and I don't want my great grandkids to be talked to crazy. Like I want them to know how to communicate with each other.
Absolutely.
Respect.
With
What
that
love is
being
supposed
said
to
though,
feel
so especially when you're checking your temperature, like as far as how you're feeling and everything like that, like how often do you check with yourself mentally and see like, all right, I know that I had a day. Let me kind of like chill for a little bit before
I don't have them type of days. I have my stuff doesn't last because I don't let it.
Right.
So
So you're very
Of
that ain't
course.
nothing but the devil.
I knew that
Right.
was gonna happen, too.
as soon as you started talking about it.
That ain't nothing but the devil.
Now let me ask you this, right? Like, where do you think your mental health is now?
Right.
Now that you've been through it, do you feel like you're in the healing stage of it?
I feel like I'm not going to say you're ever going to be all the way healed from
Never.
it.
No,
because it's times where like I know
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not even like it hits me. It's like for victims of it, like survivors of it, you get moments where you get real angry.
Yes.
And you see your person that did everything to you, and you like, I want to do so many evil things to you. I want to hurt you so bad. I want to kill you this way or that way, or like, and you just got to pray to God and be like, God, the devil is getting to me. Please.
I think a lot of people
Like,
need to learn how to start praying more.
That's
100%.
literally what I do.
100%.
I don't go to a.
How many times a day you pray?
Did you pray today?
On like an average. He said, did you pray today?
No, like I do pray frequently. I don't want to say, I'll say under, maybe like, no, over. My minimum is like 2 times a day.
Right.
Cause like, say if I start feeling a spiritual, like, warfare start to take off, I'll pray then. Like, it's been times where like people have entered my home and I don't allow everyone in my home because of this.
Because of that energy.
Absolutely.
Whatever you bring in home, you bringing in that energy too.
Absolutely.
Have you noticed more of that warfare after you started healing and started doing better for yourself?
Yeah. And you just started looking at things at a whole new light. Like you start looking at things more on a positive things.
Yeah.
But you look back at it and be like, what the fuck was I thinking?
I'm gonna tell you this though, right? I couldn't say this in court. Thank you.
Oh, at the
Now you got
time.
your chance to say it.
I couldn't say it in court because they're gonna call me crazy, right?
Good.
So what happened was when this person was attacking me, and before they did what they did to me, they were like, "You're not getting out of here alive," and that was like, okay, like I was geared up to die. Like I really felt like I was going to die that night.
Oh,
So
crazy.
they dragged me in. They start hitting me. They start, assaulting me. I'm not going to get too in detail because I don't want to be triggering to nobody.
Of course.
Right.
So,
But some people might need, like I said, need to hear this. Like, there's probably somebody that's watching right now that'd be like, damn, I'm going through the same thing.
Facts.
Please tell me how the fuck to get out of here.
Nah, that's real
Nah,
shit.
It's not funny, but it's
just
like,
got
no, I'm
beat.
going to tell you how to get out of it. But, so basically what happened was, they were assaulting me.
Right.
And they kept on just saying, like, you're going to die here. You're not leaving from here. And somehow, because I'm, like, trying to get them to stop.
Exactly.
And we're all the way, like, we're over here. Imagine this is over, like, the kitchen. My mom's urn is sitting right here on the counter. And I'm just like, damn, my mama is seeing this. She probably, like, really, my daughter though, you feel me? So I'm over here and they're over there, and they dragged me by my hair all the way over there, and somehow we was tussling, and I crawled over somehow over to like right about here, and I just remember when I went to get up, something had tripped him, and it was like about that much space. And it was just like right here. And I remember seeing his foot go like that. And then he just fell. And I just ran. And it was a fire extinguisher on the wall. I grabbed that joint. He was like really right behind me. So I grabbed it. I hit him like 2-3 times. And then I just ran out the house. I ran to my car. My car was locked at first, and I unlocked it or whatever. And then as soon we were playing, like, it looked like we were playing tag, like from the outside.
Oh, because you was on the one side and he was on the other side. Y'all
So when I went to go get in, they went to go get in.
Right.
And I was like, fudge.
Oh, shit.
So then when I went to go get in and I like just reneged on it, that's when they got in. And mind you, our children is in the back seat. And I'm just like, Lord, please don't. And they're looking to like pull off with my car because they like think the keys is in it. And I'm like, I'm so glad that I kept my keys on me because you probably would have drove off with my babies.
Look, see, shit like that is triggering to me because I got
That's
a daughter.
God.
Like,
That's
granted,
all
I'm
it
me
is
and my
is
baby mom
God,
not
bro.
together, but now if a nigga is like
the mother
that,
of your
treated,
child.
But yeah, the mother of my child. But my point being is that if she would ever get in a situation like that, and I don't know
I'ma tell
until
you this.
after the fact,
I'ma tell you this.
spazzing.
A narcissistic parent that exists between one of you will encourage that. the way that y'all treat each other will
Yeah,
encourage
definitely
her
shows.
chances of getting into that.
Definitely
I'm my dad's strongest child. When I say that, I mean that. I've been homeless, I've been touched, I've been all of that. And I don't go to my dad for nothing. Like my
Right.
dad don't show me that he gives a F. Like even right
100%.
now,
Right.
he don't F with me. Like we don't get along at all.
Right.
And why I'm saying that just to say it to show people having a relationship with your child is very important from them being little all the way till now, because I never felt comfortable talking to my dad about any of this.
Right.
My mom was kind of conscious about it, but I cared about her health more. So I was
Absolutely.
like, you know what? I'm gonna check it up. And my thing is, why do my parents have to know everything that goes on in my relationship? I'm a grown woman.
Right.
Why am I going to tell my parents what's going on between me and a person I choose to sleep with?
Right.
Like, but they would go tell their parents everything, but from their perspective. So
Right.
now I'm getting looked at like I'm crazy.
Right. There's no confidentiality at all.
Exactly. But
Right.
remember I said he tripped and there was space. My mom
Exactly.
had died and I used to grieve real hard. And I used to be like, dang, I miss my mom. Like, that's my best friend. That's the only person. Like, when she passed away, my heart felt like it broke. Like, literally, like, it was an unbearable pain. And I just felt like she had to die in order to save me that night. Because I feel like if her urn wasn't sitting there,
Right.
I probably would have been dead right now. Like, nobody would have had a talking with Tasha Lee or met me. He would have never met me. Y'all would have never met me. Like, things happen for a reason.
And this is exactly what
So-
this podcast is for. This
Exactly.
podcast is for some people
Tasha
who
Lee
have
Clap it up
a
for mental
story.
health, y'all. Clap it
Yes.
up for mental health.
She came through
Real
and healed
shit.
everybody.
But
So
now
he
there
would
was
say,
another
y'all getting healed on the
word.
live.
There was
Y'all
another
getting
thing that you
healed.
guys said, and it was basically about therapy.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think therapy helped you, and how do you think it could help other people? What makes it important? What makes therapy important?
And do you think it's for everybody?
Y'all gonna hate this.
Therapy.
Go ahead.
I'm big on therapy, right? But I hated my therapist. The one that I got
I had the
immediately
same problem.
after. Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you this. One thing about my podcast, me advertising it, everybody tells me I feel so comfortable sitting with you, talking to you, coming to you about my problems. I didn't heard stories I never wanted to hear. Like I have like, I don't know what you call it. Like, it's weird. Like, I've heard stories that I don't want to hear from promoting this. And it's like, I'm not your therapist. Like, I'm okay with listening to your story, but don't treat me like I'm your therapist, because that's not fair to me. And you're not thinking about my mental burden after you leave
Absolutely.
from
So
me.
they just
Right.
trauma dumping on you?
That's
Yeah,
exactly
and
it.
it's
what it is.
really
Right.
overwhelming because
But it be that many people that just need that help, and it's like
and that's the thing. It's not enough people making it
that's crazy.
comfortable for people to go to therapists. Like
That's a mic drop. What she just said. You
Put
ain't
it on
just
a
heard-
t-shirt.
You like you
Put
ain't
it
just
on a
heard the
t-shirt.
Depthness of how.
Is this something that you expected or kind of wanted in
I didn't
in
want.
regards to wanting to talk to more people?
That's not what
about
my goal with my podcast is a step one.
Oh.
So if you feel like you're a narcissist,
What, like step one of healing?
your accountability.
it? Just leaping over to step 10.
So
Sometimes.
yeah,
Damn,
so,
right.
So if you come on my pod, right, I'm gonna fill you out. I gotta make sure your energy is good for me to handle.
Of course.
So when you get there, we'll talk, we'll have fun, But then also, your job for everybody else is to admit your problem.
Right.
Like, you don't have to have it all together.
Right.
But you do have to have it together enough to be like, I'm going to be honest and help other people
Right.
admit their wrongs.
Right.
So when you get on there, say, oh, I'm a narcissist. Hey, y'all, my name is Tom. I'm a narcissist, and I like to do this. And I'm just telling y'all this because I'm uncomfortable, and I want other narcissists to be more comfortable and go get the help they need so they can stop having bad relationships.
Right.
That's the goal. The goal is to keep people from dying, because I almost died twice, and then to prevent, depression, because it, like, from being a survivor of it,
Right.
it really, like, puts you in a place where you like, yo, I can't, like, mentally, like, this lady I just met, and I was telling her about my pod, and she's like, yo, I'm losing my mind. I feel like I'm really like borderline. And I was like, no, don't do that. Because one thing I do is I pray and I say, God, send those that need me, not people that want to be around me, not people that aren't for me. Send people that really need my help. Right. Because if you really need to talk to me, I'm not going to push you away. But don't utilize me to make it therapy for yourself so you don't have to go get a therapist.
I mean, don't you think that's kind of like picking and choosing, though? Because, like, not everyone really got that. I mean, if they're in that type of position, I don't think that they could think clear enough or consider enough for someone else's.
So let me ask you this, right? How would you feel if someone got in your car, multiple people, and said, hey, I enjoyed talking to you so much, and I enjoyed our talk, and I'm going to call you every time I have a problem?
Well, that's just a clear lack of boundaries.
Well, I'll be like, all right. I mean,
that it is.
No, but that's what I'm working on.
Because in that
not on your end, but I'm saying like
that's what my podcast is for.
I would say, all right, like I get it. You know what I'm saying? But it doesn't mean I'm gonna answer every time. You feel me? Right. Like it could be to a point.
But what if I make you feel comfortable, and to that point? Because my thing is, I open up my DMs for that.
Right.
For people, I tell people, if you don't have nobody to call and you feel like it's that point where you need to talk to somebody and there's nobody for you to talk to, I'm 911. Okay. But I'm not every day. I'm not every Tuesday, 5 p.m., 1 hour session. I'm not getting paid for that. I need, and you're...
Because in one way you are inviting, and also people don't know better.
Exactly. That's what I was saying about the boundaries at that point.
But that's why
some people just want to hear about
But no, that's what I'm saying. Not everyone knows boundaries, so that's why they feel compelled to do that because she has that kind of inviting.
You have every right to be like, how you said, it's not going to be every day. Like, you keep with them up front. You can talk to me, but I'm not going to answer every day.
Exactly.
So I get it. But yeah, that the only reason why I said that is because, for an example, like if I say something to God, like I'm praying to God, like please send me this. Like let's say for example my studio, like God, like I need more clients, like I need more money, and then people hit me up for an hour. I'm like, yo, I got a 2 hour minimum. Like Lord, can you know what I'm saying? Like
so let me tell you this, right? Yeah. From a spiritual aspect, I know who needs me. From that, like, and I'm being honest, it's some people I could really sense, like, okay, you need me. Like, it was one guy, I'm not going to say their names or anything.
Of course not.
But it was one guy, he got in my car, and I could just feel the overwhelmedness. And I didn't know what was going on. This was way before my podcast.
Right.
Like, it was fresh when I just had got out of my situation. And mind you, I used to be terrified of exactly what the characteristics of the person that attacked me. I used to be terrified of that. So when people that look similar hopped in my car, I was like, oh man, like it was a burden, but I still got to pay my bills. Yeah. Like I still got to drive them because I still need to make money.
Oh, the Uber.
Yeah, I was just about to ask. Like that's what we're talking about, right? The Uber.
Yeah, right now.
So what you're talking about is how you use your discretion and how you kind of making that stronger and stronger.
Well, wait a second. So. Not to cut you off, but so when he got in the car, he felt the need to...
He felt really overwhelmed, right? Okay. And I said, how's your day going? And he said, fine. And I'm like, okay, I know something's wrong.
Right. Immediately.
So I'm like, what do you like? Like, just ask some random questions, get to know somebody.
Right.
And I say, is everything okay? And when I asked him again, after he answered a whole bunch of questions... that's when he started to pour.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm having a hard time. And I said, well, what's wrong? I said, I'm a parent of 3 kids. And he told me, he's like, the mother of my child, like, she won't let me see my daughter. She's always telling her, like, bad things about me. Like, she's always, and that's one thing I don't like. I don't like when parents bash each other. Now, it's one thing to be honest, but don't go bashing the parent saying, oh, the parent don't love you. The parent don't, that's not right. Absolutely. So that's what he's going through. And I said, you know what? It's my time. And that's where the prayer came in. I knew that it was my time to stop my car. Whoever else has trips coming, their trips can go through the system, whatever. he needs me to sit here.
Right.
So I sat in my car. We got to his destination because I felt like he needed a hug, and I prayed for him.
Bless your heart.
And thank you. And, you know, he just was like, you know, it's really hard. I love my daughter. And I'm like, I wish my dad knew how that felt. Like, to have a man in the backseat of my car and to pour out how much he loves his daughter, how much I would kill for that. Like, to hear my dad genuinely say, I love you so-and-so. Like, I would kill for that. But I'm never going to get that. And it wouldn't be genuine. And because I feel like I see things from the other side for a reason, and I'm supposed to expose it.
Right.
Like, a lot of people don't understand, like, I'm going to school right now on and off to be an attorney for domestic violence and family matters. And my thing is, from my podcast, it's going to help me build my clientele because you get to know me and you get to understand me and understand my passion.
Right.
And it's like, I feel like when you deal with, like, these situations, it's always let's help the victim. It's never let's help the aggressor. Or if it's let's help the aggressor, some little program, and they just send them there and they don't really get no, like, nothing really from it. Like, they don't take a test to make sure they're doing well. They don't check in every 6 months. They don't do none of that. And I feel like we need to start making them more accountable by making them, like, mine has indefinite therapy. Like, I made sure.
Would even think about that.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, talk about that. What made you think about that whole thought process?
Because
It's
the
always
man
that
leads.
other side.
Or
Yes, 100%.
like, you don't know what made this person do that. You don't know what it was. That's crazy.
Well, because that's what we avoid now. I mean, well, that's how the system looks at it, really.
Right.
Just like
And then
avoid
it's
it.
so easy
Yeah.
to point the fingers. But that person came from a different upbringing than you did. You know what I'm saying?
That's true,
You
too.
think it would probably
That's
be
why.
like,
That's why I
you
was
think
going
it's
back to
probably
what.
'cause it's easier
That's
to
why I'm
help the
going back to
person
what she was
that's
saying.
the victim. Do you think society looks at it like
No,
it would be
it-
easier?
Like something
It's-
went wrong.
The
like, you know?
dynamic of this world, right? You have certain races that excel.
Right.
You have certain races where they don't want abortions because their races are minimizing because of abortions.
Right.
You have certain races where they implemented things like child support, WIC, welfare, to make sure certain cultures didn't succeed and the woman felt more dominant and the woman felt like she could lead. In every religion, the man leads.
Absolutely.
And my thing is, you put too much power in our hands. That's
how I was like, Tasha, that's like more of my side. That's how I was growing up. Like,
Yeah.
the man, like, that's how I was taught. You feel me? That the man was the superior. The woman, you feel me? She's
woman is literally made from a man.
Right.
So my thing is, if I'm made from a man, I need to respect him, but we need to have boundaries. Like,
Yes, absolutely.
people think that, like, a lot of young girls, they think like submitting to a man is like, oh, I'm basically his slave. I watch these low life men sit here and take on that role with younger girls and sit here and make them do things that they shouldn't be doing. You sleeping with a girl that's 20 years younger than you.
Really, nigga?
You making her think that it's okay to sleep around, do this, do that, be your slave, wash your clothes. You treating her like she your mama. At this point, you need to go enroll in school and let her claim you on her taxes because she doing way too much. Like, I'm just trying to make it where, because narcissist people are always going to exist, right? It's going to always be a part of the, society. So my thing is, I just want to get it back in order where men are leading, but it's at a respectful rate.
Right.
Like, you don't have to, because women are abusive too. And that's why I'm saying, no, I'm going to be honest.
No,
that was my first
right.
domestic violence experience that I've ever seen, like, right in front of my face. I'll never forget it. It was a girl I was cool with, and she's with her man, and I'm,
She started like attacking him or some shit.
crazy at the mouth, and I'm like, I look up, I was like, why are you talking to your man like that?
A lot of women now.
She threatened him. She was like, I forget what they were talking about, but I just remember she was like, "Oh, you think because she in the back seat, I won't fuck you up?" I was like, "Oh, no, you not going."
That's real. That happens.
A lot.
And even besides the physical, you got like the mental too, especially when you talking about when
And
kids
a lot
are
of people
involved.
think like that shit's cool.
No,
like,
child support. That's why I was saying child support put that power in a narcissistic woman's hands to demolish a guy. All these
Right.
men, like I did the math. Like my son's dad don't pay child support. So you feel me? The other person, and I'm not gonna say that they're wrong, but they're a really good person, aside of that narcissistic side, because they take up the slack for him.
Right.
They take care of my son. That's not their blood son, but they take care of him. They're a stand-up guy. They try to do best. Like, even when I check him now, like, I know how to check him. Like, I have cameras, like, I play things back so they can see their actions. So it makes it easier for me to help them not be, like that anymore.
So for your
Right.
podcast, well, right now you're saying you talk to a lot of people. You've been putting reaching out your hands to assist. Would you say it's more males or females that you have?
That's a good
That's a
look.
good. That's a good one.
Man, I would say it's even.
It's even.
Really?
It's even. Yeah. So
Do you
like,
feel like the men are easier to kind of talk to and not necessarily get a hold of, but kind of like tap into their mind and see what they're thinking, what they're feeling?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I make it a safe space for a guy to be vulnerable.
Right.
So because of that, men are more welcoming. They're like they enjoy the conversation. With the females, we talk. We don't have a problem expressing our feelings. But my podcast is geared to help men, with their emotions.
Yeah.
Because I have a son and he gonna lead. And I need him to do the things that I installed in him to do. And I always tell my son, you don't put your hands on no female. If you have a problem with your female that you decide to make your wife and the mother of your children, y'all come to me. Don't come to me tattling on her, because I'm not tolerating that. But you come to me as a couple, as like a counseling session, because that is what I signed up for.
Because there's two sides to every story.
Yeah, and not only that, I don't want my kids bashing each other. I got bashed a lot, and I don't want that. I want my in-law children to come to me and feel comfortable to say, "Hey, mom, look, this is going on. I know I may have been in the wrong, or he's been in the wrong, or she's been in the wrong." I want them to feel exactly comfortable, so it's not like, oh, she's on this side or she's on that side. I don't want my kids to be in the court system.
Right.
I don't want my in-laws to be in the court system. If I got to be the person to navigate them and not lead them, in the worst way, but just navigate them. Like, look, pray on this. It's not working out. Don't put your hands on each other. Like,
I appreciate that for real, because like really you saying that, like you said before, you want to men should and need to lead, and you want to make sure that's being done in a respectful and healthy way. We need that nowadays, you know what I'm saying? And I respect that. It seems like you've been putting a lot of work, into breaking this generational curse, not only within your family, but other people's families and generations too. That man that you prayed for, you probably changed his life that day, and from here on out, he's probably
really
thinking
helped him.
differently. You know what I'm saying? And same for the people he's gonna talk to. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, it's a domino, effect. So that's real awesome of you, bro. Like,
thank you.
applaud.
I appreciate it.
Because
That's what we need to hear, especially coming from a woman, though.
Yes.
That's something I didn't expect to see so soon. Especially with, and I know that there's most definitely other people like you out there. I love to have that faith and hope, because online we're being showed and portrayed something completely different.
See, I'm gonna tell you
Stigmas.
this. I me being a criminal justice major made me understand things, because even before our court date, before I did the sentencing of, choosing my plea deal and stuff like that, I wanted to understand things from a different dynamic before I went in, and I prayed on it. So when I prayed on it, I just was like, always asking the judge and the prosecutor, does it seem like I'm doing this out of spite? Does it seem like I'm being bitter? Because I didn't want to be bitter. I just wanted to change things.
Right.
And I told them, I said, when my kids leave from me, I don't want to keep on fearing, oh, you're going to put your hands on them. I don't want to keep on fearing my kid might not return to me. I don't know if y'all have children or ever.
One on the way.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell
I got
you
a
this.
7-year-old and he got one on the way.
You want to change up your words?
He said
No, he has one on the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
I said I have a 7-year-old and he has a child on the way. What was wrong with what I said?
He said he has a child on the way. You didn't point your fingers or anything. So over here on the live, they probably
my bad.
Yeah,
JVR,
wait a minute.
JVR has a child on the way. My bad. There we go. Because I forgot in the context of the pod. I forgot.
Yeah.
Definitely forgot. But yeah.
But not to take away from what you were saying.
Yeah,
So I like to look into like a lot of like parenting cases and stuff, right?
Right.
And one of the parenting cases that was like really popular one year was when this lady, and I hate this, and this is why I said it's about the dads, because
100%.
the dads are the ones that if we break up, y'all go to somebody else. And no matter how much we may love you, and no matter how much we may drill into your head, like, please be cool with us. Please. It's because we don't know that female. And as a female, I know how crazy a female can get. Like, y'all be thinking the men be crazy, it be the women, because they
crazy.
plot. Like, I'm gonna tell you something, and this is the devious side of me. This is the santonic, whatever you want to call it, side of me. But I wait until people forget. I tell you, don't piss me off.
And this is why being vulnerable is great.
And because I'm vicious like that, it's like, I don't care. Say if you did something to me in 1967. If it had something to do with my kids,
Women never forget, bro.
I promise you,
Women never forget.
I'm going
wait
to
till you
come for
forget.
my vengeance.
Women
okay?
never forget, bro.
But
They may say they forgive you.
Finish him.
No. We forgive, but we don't forget.
At all.
But I'm going to tell you, like I said, if it comes to my kids, honey,
Yeah.
you better be walking on eggshells for the rest of your life.
Mama bear.
Curtains.
Yeah. But no, so what happened was the guy didn't listen to the mom always being, his narcissist self. Mom didn't want to send her daughter off. She had a gut feeling. But a court order says you have to. You cannot go against it. Mm-hmm. So she sent her daughter off. Her daughter comes back in a body bag because the girl he was dating, I don't remember what she did, but she attacked their daughter.
Right.
And she hit it. It was, I forget how she hit it, but he defended her.
Right.
And he ended up looking like an ass because you defended somebody that murdered your child. And now your child is going back to her mom unalive. And it's like, how would you feel to send your child? You probably was, and I know me as a mom, when I send my kids off, that's time for me to do fun things.
Yes.
That I clean my house, I clean their room, I fold their clothes, I get everything organized.
Right.
So that way when they come back, we're organized.
Exactly.
Like everything I did was for you for when you come back.
Yeah.
So now when you come back, you're not coming back. I'm burying you. I no longer can talk to you. I can't hear my child's voice. I can't play in your hair. I can't play Barbies. I can't wait until your 18th birthday because it's not going to come. I can't walk you down the aisle.
Because
You just,
That shit got
this
dark
lady,
quick.
because she did not like me and because you made her feel like she had to hate me, she took vengeance on our child and she hurt our child. And that's why I said it happens with the men, because the men, y'all lead. And if the wrong men lead, they teach the younger generation to lead wrong. Like today, I was just in my car driving from the DMV in Philly. and I seen 2 kids getting locked up. And wanna know what I thought? I said, where they dead at?
Immediately.
Where they dead at?
Immediately.
Because I promise
Are
you,
you
the way
done?
that they were getting handled today by them cops,
That's crazy.
Right.
that broke my heart. And I was like, I'm not getting out the car because these city kids don't have no respect. I
They
could have
don't.
got out. I could have recorded.
really just
I coulda-
talking about that.
I could have been on some, you ain't not this one. I'm his aunt. And just, you feel me, like back in the day. But I know if I would have got out my car and even tried to, they wasn't doing
Could have
nothing.
went left, right?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
think there's a severe lack of community, and that's especially because the men aren't around. Like,
It's too
it's a
common.
lot of, it's too many single moms, and even then, like,
Or even if they're around, sometimes they're learning the wrong thing. They're learning things that they shouldn't.
exactly, because like you said, there's a lot of dominant
Female
women.
raising
and
men.
I'm glad
It's-
I
it's
wasn't
why they
around
acting like
my dad.
females.
Because there's a lot of
Shit,
dominant
fuck
women,
that.
and they have that space to be able to control the situation like that. And like you said, a lot of those government programs are just like how the system is set up in general, society in general. Not dictates that, but you know, it's there for them to use if they wanted to use it.
No, they utilize it.
But that's what I'm saying. Not everybody, but what I'm saying is,
No,
you
the
know,
ones
who
that-
do, they
yeah.
do to the fullest extent.
So
Right.
I'm gonna give you an example, right? You see how I'm well rounded, right?
Yes.
I had both my parents, right? But my dad's a narcissist, so therefore I fell off and I started dating the wrong person.
Right.
Right? Where my siblings that I don't talk to, we have no relation because of our dad.
Okay.
Right? So the oldest, because he was out worrying about himself and not his kids that he creates, she got pregnant at I think 15.
Right.
And guess what she installed in her kids?
Oh,
That is cool.
that is cool to
She
do that.
installed in her kids that you don't need a man to take care of your kids. And guess what? And this is no shade. This is real stuff. We don't have a connection because they don't understand the value of a man.
Exactly.
Like my nieces and nephews don't address me as aunt. My nieces and nephews don't respect me. My nieces and nephews be trying to fight me. Like, they don't respect my well-being at all. And I'm their aunt. And we're only a few years apart, but it's still, I'm your aunt.
Exactly.
Like, you respect me like I'm your aunt. It don't matter our age. But because our dad, you know, didn't make sure his presence was there,
Right.
that's the domino effect.
Yeah.
That respect factor too.
So now, with that being said, like, even though your dad was there and he was a narcissist, do you believe that you've had daddy issues because of that? And how did that affect how did you move before you started to become more aware of like your mental health and that mental awareness?
So because and I'm gonna tell you this, the breakdown of my family is my dad went and cheated on the woman that he claimed he was so in love with, that he had 2 daughters with. That woman I respect highly because that woman, despite him cheating on her, she took me in when my mom was on her deathbed. Like, she was taking care of me. She was washing me up, washing my clothes, doing my hair, feeding me. Like, it pissed me off because it's like, this woman is so good to you. And you
Right.
treat her like shit. And now, because you treat her like shit, and you had me, her youngest daughter don't like me and hates me with a passion. But it's like, I'm a product of cheating. I didn't ask to be here.
Right.
But you hate me oh so much. So, because, back to what I was getting at. So,
ahead.
because of him doing all that, it's like, he got with my mom. He didn't want me. He really didn't want her. It was just like a thing.
Right.
So they got together, he started putting his hands on her. I never knew this though. But remember I said the domino effect.
Right.
And the patterns of like the common events that happen.
Right. It showed up anywhere.
My mom got her nose broken when she was about 14, 15. I got my nose broken when I was about, I'll say like 24, 25.
Right.
It's a little bit of an age difference, but it's still
But still, it's on track with the same
exactly.
similarities.
So she stayed with him, and I saw my mom be depressed the
Right.
entire time. And I said I wasn't going to do that.
Right.
I said I was going to wait for my kids to say what they wanted. I wasn't going to just stay here just because I felt like it was right.
Right.
So she wasn't always in her right mind. My mom started doing drugs. She was a drug addict. People teased me about it. They made fun of me. I didn't have a lot of friends.
You had siblings?
Not from my parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were the only child?
Between them two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so basically, it was a domino effect.
Right.
It was like, my mom's not really here, but she's here, and she's here when she's sober. And then with him, it's like, he not here. He at work. He falling asleep when I have like stuff, like recitals and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, that does something to a kid, and I remember how I felt. So that's why my podcast isn't geared to adults. It's geared to all ages, all genders, all races. Because I remember how it felt exactly seeing him fall asleep at me doing a little African dance concert or whatever. Or like when I get straight A's, kept on getting straight A's. And when I noticed like he just didn't give a damn, wasn't going to the school meetings no more and stuff like that. Right. I was like, why am I getting straight A's? Like, what's the point? Ain't nobody tell me like, oh, having a high GPA, like, nobody told me nothing.
Right,
I
looking for that acknowledgement and that guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Like, I would see my friends, like, oh, yeah, we just went out to eat. Like, because I got straight
not even
A's.
on the fridge? They didn't even put that shit up on the fridge or nothing?
The fridge is crazy.
That's crazy.
Nah, because the fridge is popping. Let me tell you.
That's a good spot.
That's
an honorable spot. You going to get your
you
Cheerios,
make it to the
you're like,
fridge,
oh,
you
shit, I did that.
I put everything on my fridge. My kids' pictures, when they draw me stuff, I put it on the fridge.
There we go.
I got an art wall. You come in my apartment, I got all their art.
Those kids going to grab Fruity Pebbles. They're like, oh, yeah. I did that.
I'm about to say, for me, my daughter, she has I put her stuff on the fridge, but I also she has her own space to where she has all her bed and everything that she likes, and she has her posters, her pictures. She makes that her own. Yeah. So I kind of allow her. Yeah.
Yeah, but the fridge is where everyone at.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a combination of both. But what I'm saying is I allow her to be her. Just completely.
And I'm glad you do that.
Got to.
Because you teaching her something.
Exactly.
Yep. Like, I cursed him out. And I was like, you ain't going to be telling our kids what they can and cannot wear.
Because my two main things is structure and manners. Manners is always going to take you where money can't. I teach you that all the time. Like, whenever we go out anywhere. Matter of fact,
say that shit again.
Manners will take you where money can't. Because matter of fact, Kyle, when we was at the wedding, I can't tell you how many people kept coming up to me. It's like, oh, she's so polite, she's so this, she's so that. It's like, that lets me know that I'm reaffirming how she's
No, because I be saying that shit all the time. When I'm by my job or I'm around people and they walk in the room and they don't say hi to you, I'm like, they mal educado.
Disrespectful.
They don't have good manners.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to Philadelphia. They say that.
Oh no,
they say
I worked in a casino in Philly. I know how that shit is.
Yo, when I tell you they be so rude.
Yeah.
Like, it's certain times of the day and certain places you go in Philly and you'll get really good service. And I mean from people all the way down to the jobs.
Yeah.
But in other places, I would tell everybody dating single, stay the hell out of Philly. Don't get nobody pregnant because you going to get on child support. Don't, literally. And
it's like they're looking for it.
Yeah, nobody.
Really? It's like they're for real.
I was in Philly right for my boy's birthday, right? We was walking out of an Aldi to do some grocery shopping.
Yeah.
A motherfucker, we was asking our friend a question. And this dude with his girl, he's like, "What you talking to her for? I'm about to up it right here." Yo, you crazy, bro?
And she really
at
gonna
up
that shit too. Now.
At an Aldi?
You stupid.
That shit wild, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, we never coming back here again.
So are you from Philly?
Hell no.
Where are you from?
Honey, I'm from Jersey.
Jersey.
Respect.
What part of Jersey? What part of Jersey?
Well, now that I don't live with my narcissist anymore, I'm from Sicklerville.
What's that? I always hear some new part of
It's
Jersey.
South Jersey.
South Jersey.
South Jersey.
By the Pine Barrens?
The what?
Yeah, I was about to. What are we talking about?
You don't know about the Pine Barrens in South Jersey? That's where the big ass wood, the Jersey Devil, and all that shit up.
Oh no, no.
What's the closest city to that? That's in reference to Cherry Hill. What Lumberton?
I wish I could tell you. Honestly.
So I would be 15 minutes from Deframo.
I got a question for you
Okay.
though.
All right, so that
because
makes
I
sense.
know I see that we
Almost
keep
like
bringing up the
Williams.
word narcissist and we're addressing. Do you feel
Definitely
like
a buzzword.
now it's a word where like toxic is used in the wrong terms where people are being addressed as narcissists and they're not narcissists?
Yeah.
It definitely can
They
be.
just have certain traits.
So
but-
you can not be a narcissist and have narcissistic traits, and then
Right.
you can be a narcissist. And the thing is, I'm actually like I went through it and I'm studying it and I'm always studying. So when people come to me and be like, "Are you sure?" Because you know that word, and I be looking at them like,
It's
excuse me, when you get your nose broken, when you get your hair pulled out, when you get your black eyes, when you have to use makeup, when you go into school for this because you don't want it to happen no more. How would you feel to have to answer that question? Because to me, I feel insulted because I really study this.
Yeah,
like
you
my
were face to face with one.
Yeah, like it's not no. And the thing is, they taught me that was something. They told me. One day they told me, they were like, I just wanted to tell you because I didn't know and I found out what I'm doing and
Right.
what I am. And I just want to apologize. And what I am and what I'm doing is called a narcissist.
right.
And I was like,
Wow, really?
like I was sitting in the car and I turned and I was like, what?
Because that's the thing too. I feel like I can see both sides of it because, like I said earlier, it's definitely a buzzword. Like it gets thrown. I feel like it gets overused. It definitely gets overused.
Yeah,
so
toxic,
it's like,
all that shit gets
exactly.
over.
Like we've been hearing that for a couple years. It's really started like becoming like
And people
trending
are-
like
it's
around right
people
before
are making
COVID.
it a thing like
It was
that's
like right
what-
before COVID. That's when like people really started using
Like,
it,
it's
and
cool to
especially
be toxic.
after that. Yeah,
Facts.
right.
That's why my
that
ex,
too.
my ex would
It's
call me
not.
narcissist. I'm like, bitch, I just don't want you to cheat on me.
Can I tell you Can I tell y'all
She was
something?
crazy.
Go ahead.
So I feel like it's one of the things that they're using to push women to be more independent. Because
Really?
if you,
Talk
did you
about it.
notice like when they were doing voting, right?
Yeah.
Like a lot of females didn't vote for Trump because Trump's a narcissist. And like my personal reason why I didn't want to vote for Trump is because you're condoning grabbing your, women by the vaginas.
That is crazy.
You just
Mind
go
you-
up straight to him.
And
I'm
that
a-
on national
Straight to
television,
it.
But
bro.
this is my thing, right?
Right.
I'm a dancer. So guess what happened at work?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
What'd you
Just
do? You
because
kick him?
Trump did it.
Yep.
And that's the thing too, like him being
The
a public
influencers, a lot of the
figure and
influencers.
being the president of the free world, and it's like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it. It's just like, okay, like yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, but
You can even
well,
dumb it like
to even
the
talk
per-
about there's bigger bodies of work behind all that. There's Congress
is.
and all that
Yeah.
shit. You feel me?
Yeah, that's true too.
They all involved in it.
It's yeah, we're all fucked. like that's who's ahead of power. They're
And then
letting
the
this shit happen. You feel me?
And then
It's
the way
crazy.
that the planet is going, we're already fucked.
Right.
Definitely been dealt
But
with
that's
crazy
why we're here
hand.
together right now to lead and
start
to help. You know
somewhere.
what I'm saying? Yeah, we
That's
start
exact-
somewhere.
Tell-
Each
Right.
one teach one.
Tell-
Regardless of what
Each
the world
one
out there is
teach
gonna
one.
be, as long as we heal and work from here, like that's a big start, and that movement will continue to grow and expand. You feel me?
Generations to generations to come.
Yeah.
Listen,
Now this podcast.
So what's your top 5 cereals?
I was just about to get into
Carpe
it.
diem.
Yeah, now it's time for the fun
Carpe
talk.
Yeah.
She like, nah.
Nah, no cereals? All right, but let's get into the real fun shit. As a female, does body count matter? You can be 100% honest.
I've had struggles in my life. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, right?
Go ahead.
Being a single mom,
Is this a space?
you do things for your children.
Absolutely.
And I've done things that I didn't want to for my children because at one point I didn't have diapers, I didn't have food, and you got to do things. And that's something that why like I'm glad I have my podcast because it's things that people won't say. And that like I'm not going to say exactly what I did and stuff, but because that's my trauma.
Exactly.
Because it's like something I gotta always relive. Like every time I go somewhere that, I did certain activity at, I relive it. And it's like, I don't like thinking about that. Like, I hate when
Right.
people ask me them questions because it's like, the things I had to do, I'm pretty sure your mama did. And she won't tell you. Because,
And I honestly wouldn't want to know.
but like, I'm saying,
That's-
like,
I get
That
what
is
you're saying.
wild.
that's why I don't like them questions, because it's like every female has had a point in her life, because I've talked to these females and they run their mouths. You've done something with someone that you didn't want to for some type of something to get where you're at. And you just like to act like you didn't do it, and it's not right, because it's like you'll put down a female that's actually open about doing that, but you're not going to open up and say what you did. So
That definitely is a double
But
standard.
I don't think they should do it how they're pushing it. They're pushing
you
it
mean?
like everything that you do, you got to sell that thing for.
and that
Am I lying?
honey, they do it like it's a 9 to 5.
Like, it's crazy. I've
is.
seen females fucking from McDonald's, bro, just to get their baby something to eat. And pretty. Beautiful. Kids, beautiful.
Don't you think that's a whole different demographic though? Like that's in certain areas.
Is it?
Because I noticed.
Nah,
you
it's
said,
all-
but
nah,
you said
it's
every
everywhere.
female though. Like you
It's
really count for
everywhere.
every female? Because I don't think that.
Not every
not
female.
every, but
I'll
no.
say like, okay,
What
so realistically maybe 20% out of every single female in the world.
Okay, because what about other females who don't have that financial struggle, have both parents to help them out, and
No,
still
Because
have
they
a
see it in the
It's
world.
it's being promoted
Yeah.
too much.
exactly.
Way
So
much.
now it's like, come on now, like, to be honest, like I danced right next to Cardi, right? Years ago, like
Really?
I'm about to say the music by itself, just the music today in general.
But listen,
Go ahead.
you remember the post that went viral with the little girl? She said, when I grow up, I want to be a stripper like Cardi B.
Yeah.
Her mom never sat her down and said, baby, that's just, you feel me? She didn't make it seem like it was like some type of fantasy or fairy tale or, she didn't paint it where the little girl still had a decision in life. She let her go on with that. And now this little girl probably like still like, oh yeah, mommy, I see her
They
twerking.
even
Let me.
writing it down in the what you want to be.
But
when
the
you
thing
grow up.
is, it's like it's still being promoted because it's like between the music and the kind of women that are being promoted with
But
that
sex
kind
sells.
of sex sells. That's 100%. But what I'm saying is, it's like okay if you do it like every once in a while, but if that's like your whole like shtick, your personality, not personality, I would say, but like as an artist or whatever, they have to have that persona. That's part of that persona. Like sex is like part of the forefront of
You
that
want to
persona.
know something?
Go ahead.
I've learned that in the industry, sex sells. Sex sells.
So what are you trying to say? That it's inevitable?
Because
That's always gonna be.
it's like you want your life to be good.
That's what he always
You
says.
That's
wanna,
how it is.
You want to make sure
Cars.
your mom has a house. You want to make sure so and so has a car.
That's
okay,
why OnlyFans is
well, this
promoted
is-
like the way it does.
But not only girls
That
too,
shit
guys
blue.
too. You saw Terry Crews was getting his ass grabbed. For real though.
No, it's true. And
It's
then
for real.
because I'm
I
not
be
gonna
telling
lie.
my girl like all her favorite singers. I'm like, you know how many dicks he took up his ass to get there?
Crazy.
But that's the thing.
It's-
but
yeah.
But it's
so I'm
true.
gonna paint this picture for you, right?
Yeah.
So we know that sex sells. Everybody does something to get where they're at in this industry. If you look at things, the entertainment industry is built with so much trauma. It
Right.
don't make no sense. Like,
Satanic.
yeah. Like,
Very.
honestly, if I wish I had the right dynamic and I didn't fall into this because I'm so deep in, it's hard as hell to get out.
Right.
Because regular jobs, I see how much income I can make. And it's like, why do that and struggle? Because if I struggle, I'm going to end up having to do something way worse because I'm struggling. It's so many moms. Like, I just had a lady in the backseat of my car. She like, I really don't like selling drugs. But she said, I can't help it. I got too much going on. And I'm like,
It's
it
a
hurt my heart.
foundation of her lifestyle.
Yeah, and it's
Right.
like people. I watch people behind the scenes. Like
Right.
you see all the nice luxury, you see all this, you see all that.
You don't know where this,
You
know
don't-
where it's come
Right.
from.
Yeah.
And that's what Tales of the Trenches is about.
Yeah.
Tales from the trenches, y'all.
She just explained what Tales of the Trenches is about.
So now, with that being said, like, how do you feel like that you've had to change your lifestyle, mainly for you and your
I gotta
kids
take a
doing
piss.
the? doing the work that you do.
What happened?
No, because he got to go to the bathroom. But I was saying, with the lifestyle that you've had and the choices that you made and things like that, like how have you had to move differently, especially when it comes to you and how you like your kids, like say for instance the shorties that be out here promoting their OnlyFans and doing all this other stuff, not knowing that there is a public stigma that will definitely be a part of that because you're literally putting your whole everything on the internet for people to see, and you're making bread off of it. And
you know how many?
Saying,
I have an OnlyFans. You know how many guys try to tell me?
See, I didn't want to get to that point. I was
okay.
gonna let you. That's why I said I was gonna let you do. I didn't want to pry that.
You
get what I'm saying?
No.
I'm
very
be respectful
honest
about it, right?
Because I can't promote mental health. To me, I can't promote mental health
because of that.
No.
Oh, okay.
And be quiet about things.
Right.
Because my thing is, I want to prevent you from committing suicide.
Respect.
So me keeping my secrets to myself is not going to help you. Because you're going to still, I'm going to say something, but I'm going to also have something else that I probably could have said with that, where you're like, dang, she don't know how this feel. She ain't went through it. Like there's something that I'm still going through mentally that I don't want to disclose to the public yet. Naturally. Because it's too much for me. Right. So because of that, it's like that's something I need another guest to come on to my platform and talk about because I can't handle it. And then I also thought, like, what if they come on here and talk about it and I start crying and stuff? Yeah. I might not be able to handle that pod. Right. So for me, that's why I said I'm not a therapist. I can't be a therapist because I'm going to sit here and grab a box of tissues and be with you. Like, triggers. Ugly crying. And that's why I can't do it for y'all. But I can only be step one. I can only be the person you talk to and you acknowledge your problem. You take accountability. And then from there, all right, now what you need to do. This is, let's work on your step two. That's going to therapy. That's getting help. Now I refer you to whoever, or if you have references, show them to me so that way I can share them with other people. Absolutely. And that's where my podcast helps other people. That's where all the Black therapists, all the Spanish therapists, all these therapists that are therapists, that's where y'all step in and y'all take y'all lead. Right, you're bridging the gap. Exactly.
So wait, you said you did OnlyFans or you still do it now?
I still do it.
You still do it now? Do you have a lot of following?
Got like 30 people.
Do you feel like that gets in the way of trying to lead men into becoming?
I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's an interesting question.
That's something I think about a lot.
Right.
I work in the Devil's Playground.
Right. Okay? It seemed like it. Yeah.
And I hate it, and that's why I say I'm so invested in it that I'm to the point, like, I sat down and I pray on it all the time. And I just tell God, like, please forgive me. But I'm not letting my daughters go through what I went through. That's why I'm so invested in this mental health thing.
It is a fucked up industry.
Are you still in the process of, like, you said you're going to school for criminal justice or you already graduated?
No, I'm still going to school.
You're still going to school. Do you feel like once you're at that point where you're there, you got where you need to be, you'd still be doing that? Or is this is just to get by right now?
This is just to get by.
See, the thing is, like, I think about it a lot is because I think the men that subscribe to this and pay for this also don't know better because they're making it seem like it's okay and they're feeding it to other guys. I think that
So can I teach you something?
What's up?
Remember I said I'm playing the Devil's Playground. Mm-hmm. They not saved. Them guys that I meet, they're the narcissists.
Telling you.
And when I get done, I'm going to make sure I help them in some type of way.
But isn't that kind of enabling them?
No. Because I'm not teaching you to be abusive to anyone. Like, me being a sex worker, there's nothing that enables it.
So you're saying that most of the guys that participate and watch this stuff are narcissists?
I'm saying most of them because it's
some of them are. Some of them are just kids who do good in school and shit, and they still go on OnlyFans and put most of their money into that. And you know, cause honestly, like, I'm not perfect. You know, I know none of my brothers here are perfect. I'm not here to judge, but I know that pornography and things like that is what takes a part of your soul, it takes a part of your spirit, and it strays you away from God. You feel me?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a mental burden for me. So when I said I'm making sure my daughters don't do it.
Right.
I'm making sure, like, I'm going to take all the L's because we took enough L's. I'm going to be the last L. Like, my grandma, she was a prostitute down in Broadway. She died having full-blown AIDS. Like, they blasted her picture on the newspaper, and it broke my mother's heart. I remember how she felt.
Yeah.
To just imagine everybody in the world can open up a newspaper and see your dead mother's picture on it and see, oh, she died from this. She did this. She had this. Like, and I remember that pain she had. I was not close to my grandma, but I remember how she felt.
Right.
I watched my mom go through mental burdens of, you know, when you go through things and when you have parents that are doing certain things, you get exposed to things. You become vulnerable to things.
Right.
So she was in bad situations. It trickled onto me. Now I'm in situations. Somewhere it's got to stop. So I'm stopping.
So is that like a battle you feel like you're going through?
Yeah.
Right now?
So if I got to go sell my left leg to keep my daughters and my son from being what I'm being, so be it. Like, I got my son so invested into wanting to be a cop. I got my oldest daughter so invested into wanting to be a artist.
That's
like
beautiful.
My youngest daughter, she wants to be a model. Like, she sees my photo shoot. She sees the positive side to it. She's like, "Oh, you look so pretty, Mom," and stuff like that. Like, I know the ins and outs, so ain't nobody going to take advantage of you if this is the field that you want to be in. So that's why I'm saying I'm taking all my L's, because I'm not letting my children get exposed to any more of this nonsense.
Absolutely.
And my podcast helps them, because their episodes I'm going to do and I'm going to promote it. And you'll know who they are, because one day my son's podcast going to come by. He going to be like, "I want to be an officer, and I'm getting all my kids into real estate."
Right.
You feel me?
So you're saying to make it up and out of these certain situations and to progress in this world, as someone who is a believer of God and Jesus, sometimes you go through situations where you dabble in that devil's playground in order to make it out.
Right.
Yeah, someone
right.
say you got to be part of the system to break out of it type shit. So that's
yeah,
what
literally.
you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's
I
a
get that.
learning process too.
It is. It is.
Right.
No, because that's something that
Because even
always,
me being a male in that type of industry, it's
I
fucking
think,
sucks.
So-
Yeah, I was about to
think
say,
even
go ahead.
60%. I would put 60% of blame on the men for feeding that, and also for not, making it seem like it's okay. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Most what I've heard, you know what I'm saying, is most friends back then in my high school and shit would like be around together, put porn on together and shit, think that shit's cool. But now, like me personally, I saw that shit when I was little. Now that hasn't affected me till 2024, you feel me? But now I realize it more and more, like, this isn't something that should be a part of me. This is something that I kind of want to, I really want to break out of, to not even pass it down to my own kids and shit, or even for my brain to be healed 10 years later down the line for the way I think about women, the way I interact with
It's
them,
gonna stick,
everything, you know what I'm saying? Well, you understand that voice gets smaller and smaller and smaller. You know, like, it's the point where you don't even hear it. It becomes faint.
Right.
It's like you said, it's always going to be there, but it's about how strong you are compared to it. You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing, though, because, like, I can speak for everybody. When growing up, it was always like, either middle school or high school, whatever. It's like, oh, how many bitches you get? Oh, like, how many shorts you fucking on? Like,
Yeah.
And it isn't until you're in your late 20s or something, and you finally around
Late 20s, early 30s.
around a good group of people who will make you see different. And it's not really about that. It's how many people.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, starting from that, that's a dangerous foundation, because not everybody finds that group of people. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't find that group of people where, like, oh, they on their square, they on their purpose, but they're not, and they're just chasing after women. You know what I'm saying? That becomes like a lot of guys' lives, like in their 30s
That's
and
why it becomes
30s and 40s.
our responsibility to change that.
checking the
You know what I'm saying? Just like she said, breaking generational curses. This is one of them.
That's exactly.
That
It starts with
becomes our
those
responsibility
conversations.
now, being aware of that.
Bro, first of all, having the male figures in these kids' lives, and then the second thing would
gotta
definitely
be aware.
be right. Definitely got to be aware, and to be able to stop those kind of not necessarily stop those kind of conversations, but just give
Approach
that guidance
it differently.
Yeah, exactly.
People-
Give that
people
guidance and
gonna go
approach
through
it
But you
differently.
gotta understand, people gonna go through their own shit too.
They are.
It don't matter
Oh, yeah, of course.
what it
Of
is.
course.
Everyone has their
I'm
own
not
journey.
saying.
It's 11:11.
Nice. Make a wish.
There you go.
Make a wish.
I'm sorry.
No,
I had
you're
to do
good.
that.
My long story short, I'm not saying that you can, save your child from every single problem or save them at all, but you can at least give them the guidance. So even
It
if they
starts
do,
home.
right. So you can at least say like, all right, I did my part as a parent to be like, I gave them the guidance in order to be able to choose and make the right decision. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, every parent wants their child to be
Well,
great.
that's why it starts at home, because it's the outside world that
That's it.
the influence comes from too.
Absolutely.
Never before, right? You say like you still do like modeling and stuff like that. Do you do like just regular modeling like for clothes?
I do all type of modeling.
Okay.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
Is
So-
there anybody like you worked with? Like who have you worked with?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. So you know how like I said I work at the club. It's like it makes it easy to get networking going.
Right.
So like
That's where I met a. It's not to cut you off, but like, you meet a lot of people like that.
I'm telling you, I met
Yeah,
so
a lot
many
of people.
celebrities. Like
Oh,
I done did parties and then met other.
You been in Diddy
people.
parties?
Yeah,
Damn, speaking of this.
That's crazy.
Just the whole entertainment industry in general. Imagine how many people he put on because of it.
Even being for real, like those parties that you've been to, have you seen or heard
I
of the shit
haven't.
that
That's
goes
a
on?
good question.
I haven't done
It's
those
called It's Another Rooms.
type of parties.
I'm not saying
Good.
you've done it, but they say that there's those rooms. These people be getting to those type of activities.
Those back
you
rooms,
feel
those
me?
freak
And if
offs.
you've been around celebrities,
Yeah.
yeah, right?
I've been around celebrities, but not like at parties like that and stuff. Not like that.
They just regular ass parties.
Yeah, you just. Oh, you
Good.
look nice.
It's a regular
Good.
party. 'cause-
Good.
I've done stripper
I
parties.
be skeptical, bro. I be thinking like, yeah, that's real. I mean, it is real.
Yeah, because you never
No,
know.
that's
It's hard.
true. You
Yeah,
never
you
know.
never know.
the all white
Right.
parties.
I
Come on,
love
bro.
all white parties. Have you been to all white party?
I have not.
You?
No. What you talking about when you wear all white type shit? You wear all white.
Yeah.
What else go down?
He's like, get into the nitty gritty.
What the heck?
He said, get into the nitty gritty.
I want to know. Is there
Right.
I want to know that I gotta wear.
It's like, what's the credentials? What I gotta bring?
Okay,
gotta
so-
bring all the baby oils.
So
Baby
because
oil is crazy.
because y'all never been to an all white party, I'm gonna have an all white party, but y'all gotta come.
Where-
Listen, respect.
Definitely show love.
But
So what is like the top 5 clubs that you've been in Jersey?
ooh,
Top 5 clubs.
Have you been in clubs just in
Calculated.
Jersey, or you been outside of Jersey
I don't
too?
dance in Jersey.
Oh, right. So
I can't even think. I can't really like. Okay, this was years ago. Bare Exposure, like years and years ago, like almost 8-9 years ago. Yeah, this.
What clubs that you danced at?
I'm a traveler, so I'm a firm believer in you don't lay where you dance at, because I
Right.
touch a lot of money
Right.
in the past. I worked at Sin City in the Bronx. I worked at Starlets. I worked at what is that joint called? Can't remember what it's called.
where is it?
It was in I don't know, Brooklyn, Queens, something like that.
Right.
I worked in all them little boroughs except for Manhattan. Manhattan is where like all the Caucasian small, those girls work at those type of clubs. I'm
Right.
more urban. I have more tattoos, I worked at Vanity Grand. I worked at Sin City, that's now here. I worked at Onyx, a club called
Saturday night.
Onyx.
Yeah.
I worked at Atlantis Gentlemen's Club. That was my first club. That's the club where I learned how to like be a dancer. Gold Club downtown in Center City. Where else? I went to Charlotte. I love Charlotte.
Oh, in North Carolina? Or are you talking about the
Yes.
spot?
For real.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You been
Okay.
to Atlanta too?
Yeah. I can't remember
Magic
what.
City?
No.
I was about to say.
I do
You
wanna go
gotta
to Magic
have.
City.
You gotta have. They don't hire girls like me. You gotta have your and the done.
So well, first of all,
I
because
can't-
my
I
biggest
can't.
question is like when you decided like, all right, I'm gonna make this like my lifestyle. This is gonna be something I want to do. Like what brought you to that point? Like when you first started dancing.
Okay. All right. So my dad was like, "I'm not paying for nothing
That's how I was,
for you."
shit.
I was 17, and I was 17 and a half, and graduation was coming along.
Okay.
My dad wasn't putting food in the house, so it was like I would be hungry. My mom, she was doing her thing, like she was on and off of drugs
Right.
because of him. So it was like, okay, let me get a job. So I got a job at this music store. Ever since my boss, he looked just like my dad, which made it really weird.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they met each
Your
other
life is
and
interesting.
laughed because they looked just like each
You
other.
had
Oh God, that's
Yup.
that's weird.
Exactly.
She had a journey.
Right.
Right. So he would flirt with me occasionally. He asked me why,
Oh,
like,
God.
if he could take care of me, if I could be
Oh
his girlfriend.
God.
Your manager?
My boss.
Oh, your boss.
The
Yeah,
man
remember
that
that
writes me
looks
a
like
check.
his dad. I mean, her dad.
Yeah, yeah. So I got this old man
weird.
that's flirting with me that looked like my dad.
Jesus.
And at the time I'm 17 and a half. My neighbor down the street, she's a stripper. So she's telling me like, yo, you should go to my job. And, they should be able to hire you. You
Right.
know, your birthday's in a few months. I don't see why they wouldn't, right? So I'm like, all right. So I go, she, comes over, teaches me how to, do a few little things like strippers and stuff like that. Sweetest person in the world. We got matching boob tattoos, right? And I'm gonna tell you, when I tell you her nickname is Boots. So she's my favorite childhood friend.
Right.
So, and I forget how we met too. That's the funny part. But I just remember she was teaching me stuff.
Okay.
And then
Goddamn.
you just on a
Damn.
mission.
Now the first time wasn't me though.
I blame the chair.
Right. Mm-hmm. Shit. There we go. Now go ahead. Don't let me stop the party.
We
Don't let me
over
stop
here
the
dropping
Shout out
phones.
to our sponsor, Diab's Kitchen. All right, go ahead.
So,
That is crazy.
I somehow came across, because it was me and it was my best friend at the time. Her name is, we gonna call her Star. We're not gonna say her real name.
Right, respectfully.
She got a big old booty.
Shouts out to
She
her.
Jamaican, so she naturally was
My
Big old
God.
yes, naturally. So we came across this lady at a party, and we did the party. We were 17 and a half. Well, she's a year older than me, so she was 18.
Okay.
And yeah, so we did the party, came back with I think
A lot.
no.
Damn.
That
He
is
says-
the
way he just chimed in.
First of all, it was a
Count
lot.
change.
It was a lot to us because we teenagers.
Right, right, naturally.
So you feel me? It's a lot to us. I think we made like $150, $200, and it was only for like 30 minutes.
Oh, 30
Oh
minutes.
yeah.
Yeah, so
I
we-
can see that.
you
I
feel
can
me?
Yeah, immediately. Right.
But on a
What's
good
the
night,
next
Applebee's
one?
on me.
But even
Applebee's
still,
on me.
if you go there on a good night and you work there, boy.
No, it was a party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
it
no.
was a-
but even still, for 30 minutes, like
My
no
bad.
regular 9-to-5 person is making that.
That's
in 30
300
minutes.
an hour.
Pretty much.
Hello.
Pretty
Damn.
much.
So
Sign me up.
so basically what happened was I was working at, I did that in the midst of working at the, store. And he just kept on flirting with me every time I come in. So finally, when I finally turned 18, I was like, you know what?
Fuck it.
Because if a grown man that's my boss keeps on sexually harassing me, why not get paid to be sexually harassed?
He was touching you too?
he wasn't touching me. It was what he was
Just
Like
saying.
verbally
verbal,
and shit,
yeah,
yeah.
verbal,
Yeah. I felt uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, in my mind, I really thought about it.
You
I
said, why not
said,
get paid to feel uncomfortable?
you know,
When you put it that
But
way.
she said that.
No,
what she
yeah,
said.
it's true though. But
Yeah.
it was just
I
the way
mean-
you framed it.
you know how many, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Most
ahead.
women that endured abuse, like from a teenager or a child,
Okay.
up until they was like 19, 20, guess what? They all strippers, or they all at least dance, or they
Right.
sell cooch, because it's like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Like I might as well get paid for my trauma. Like,
She said it best, y'all. That's the devil's playground, bro.
That's fucking
Yeah.
really how it comes up. Yeah.
yeah, that's how it is.
That's where he lurks around.
Yep,
And that's why, yeah. Domino effect.
yep.
Crazy.
Each one teach one.
So Diddy and all white is a contradiction. It's just wrong.
Yo,
This is wrong.
yo. He ain't lying though.
No. Oh wait, do you got a charger?
Oh yeah. Do we have a charger for her phone?
How long
what
have
phone
we
you
been
got?
on this podcast?
Yeah,
for?
that's a man.
we've been
Listen,
on
we just
here-
been going.
Yeah, this is good. Let me see.
Phenomenal. How much is it saying on the iPad?
We've probably been here for like an hour or two.
Oh, hour 20?
Damn.
Oh, don't lose your headphones.
Yeah, 1 hour 20. Oh,
Hey, well, listen.
Crazy.
I feel like that could be enough for you. Y'all want to keep going?
Clap it up for Tales for the
Yeah,
Trenches, y'all.
that's it.
Clap it up. There you
Really
go.
great conversation.
Yeah, it's
Thank you.
definitely a dope
100%.
podcast.
Seriously.
Tasha Lee, how you feel being on the Tales of the Trenches so far?
Word.
I feel like y'all my new friends.
Have you been on other
Naturally.
podcasts before?
I have.
How do you feel about this one?
Right.
I like
This
it.
is the start too.
Yeah, like literally the
I
ground
mean,
up.
I feel like every podcast that I've been on has been more like the starting season for them. And I like it though.
Okay.
Because I got to be with y'all in the beginning.
Right.
So
Right.
now
That's where it
dope.
matters most.
That's dope.
exactly.
Yeah.
So now when you get all high and mighty, I come back
Yeah.
and we get to, you feel me?
Tasha Lee, we had in the first episode.
Yes. Like, oh, what have you been
That shit's
doing,
crazy.
friend?
yeah, right.
Now we
Yes.
do have another podcast too where
Oh, we
we
talk about
review-
honest reviews?
Yeah, honest reviews where we review like food,
Just
like,
big back.
anything.
Big bang activity.
Whatever
Yes.
they want us to review is what we review it on.
We got Between the Walls at Walmart, but that shit different.
Between
That's-
the walls.
Oh, you ain't know about Between the
Go
Walls?
ahead. Hit
I'm
the
gonna
ball.
put you on. Nah, you
Put the
just. you
picture
just-
on.
I'm gonna just send you the profile, and then
Like we
It's
gotta
funny as shit.
like we gotta go in between the walls.
nah. So basically, I'm a long story short. It started at Walmart. So we went to Walmart, and my boys were like, "Oh, we're trying to shoot promo, whatever." And one boy was like, "Let's get kicked out." I was like, "No, bro. Like, I like this Walmart. Like, I want to get coming. You feel me?" I was
It's
like,
always
I
that
took-
one motherfucker.
I took two
Right.
bean bags and I put them in this aisle. We were in a vacuum aisle. I put bean bags there. I was like, all right, start asking each other questions and shit. And then they started asking each other questions. And I went on. I was like, yo, this is Between the Walls. Walls, WAL for Walmart. You feel me? And ever since then, I started doing these mini podcast
Oh,
series
that's
at
tough.
Walmart.
I
You
didn't
feel
know
me?
that. When you
And it was so I
You
don't
ain't
need
know
no
that, bro?
podcast space.
Nah, 'cause I
I don't
always-
need no studio. I just go to Walmart.
Right.
I shoot there. And bro, the Walmart right here in Trenton. Shout out Walmart in Nottingham. That shit is solid. They just the
They
other
don't
day
give
we
a
were
fuck.
shooting one and the worker was just watching. They were helping somebody and they're like, "Oh, let me not cross." They doing something right there.
Yeah, they don't give a
Respect,
fuck.
bro.
They
But yeah,
don't
this
give a
shit.
fuck. They like, I got motherfuckers stealing everything. And it's like, listen, we got bigger shit to worry about. Y'all go ahead and do y'all do.
And it's kind of like a mockery towards like so many podcasts, except for this one because this one's dope. But there's so many podcasts out there, and it's just like hard to compete with them in a way. You feel me? So I was like, yo, I'm gonna just do a fucking podcast where we just not talking about anything. We don't talk about shit. Whatever come to your mind, you go ahead and say it.
Yeah, bro,
You feel
that's
me?
a niche market
Yeah.
within itself. Like,
It's just a
that
full
shit
comedy.
is funny. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so pure, raw, and uncut. And then
That's
plus
exactly
with the way
what I
you
wanted to
add
be.
the
It's
sound
I don't
effects,
give a
is,
fuck.
right? Exactly. And,
And
when you
people
add the
started
sound
asking
effects,
me-
it's always funny as
People
shit.
started asking me like, "Yo, can I be on this? Like, let me be on this." I was like, "Yo, I gotta warn you, bro. Like, this shit has no direction."
Listen, the
Like,
next
I'm not
one
gonna
you
ask
do,
you
I need to
about-
be on the next
We
one.
gotta
I'm not
start
gonna ask you
asking
about
people.
yourself.
Yes, we gotta start. Is there anything that you do not want?
Yeah, you got trigger points.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
We gotta
so
really
that's
start-
between the walls
yeah.
for you, really.
that
But
is something. So we about to start wrapping it up here.
so okay. Anything else you want to say for the
Tales
world?
from the
So
Trenches.
Yeah, I'm
I
about to
need
say,
you to
hold
do,
on,
right?
shout out, I'm about to say shout out all your socials. Where can everybody find you? Like, what, you know?
Looking at camera right there.
Yep, yes, ma'am.
Ew. Okay, so catch me, Tasha Lee, and I gotta think. I got a
She
couple,
forgot
y'all.
immediately.
Well, no.
Start running them down.
45
Well-
underscores.
No, so my personal Instagram, my entertainer Instagram is I am __ Tasha Lee. Then my podcast, Jesus, my podcast.
We breaking all the rules today.
You can catch me on Facebook. You can catch me on TikTok.
Okay.
I'm on Instagram.
There you go.
And I am on.
Yeah, about to say, go ahead, look, get a quick look.
I'm on YouTube, y'all.
You feel me?
Every platform
Respectfully.
is Talking with Tasha Lee podcast. That's all it is. You
Right.
can't mess it up.
And that's all it is, and that's all it was.
Man, this
You
was
feel
Tales
me?
from the Trenches. This was a fun. It was a
Tales
fun
from the
one.
Trenches
Yeah, this is good.
podcast.
That was a
Shout
fun
out-
one, bro.
Everybody
Shout
go
out
down the
Tasha Lee,
line. JBR started off first.
Hey, listen, man. I enjoyed the time with you here. Thank you for opening up to us.
Respect.
And welcome to the island. You're more than welcome to come back.
Anytime.
Absolutely, anytime.
Anytime. It's your boy Da Vinci Digital. It's good. Feel me?
Ghost Boy from the 609. You heard?
You feel me? It's Dia Villa, and we just dropped Diab's Kitchen recently. Make sure y'all tap in.
Yeah, I was about.
You feel me? Make sure
like
y'all
about to
tap
be
in.
in the 80s porno. He's like,
you
I'm
feel
so
me?
close to the mic, bro.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you gotta say that again. You was being too sexy.
So what's up, y'all? This is Dia Villa.
He's like, I pulled out the corporate voice.
Nah,
I pulled
for
out the
real.
corporate voice.
Dia Villa, Dia Avenue, the Villa season, you know what I'm saying? One of the best engineers in the world. Make sure you tap in with me. One of the mixes. Welcome to the fucking island. This shit is steadily progressing.
Honest
And,
reviews coming soon.
Honest reviews coming soon. Between the Walls coming soon.
Everybody dropping projects and shit.
Yes,
Projects
everybody.
on project.
You feel me?
Big
Dripped
Bag
in
City on
Dior.
the
Hey,
way.
listen,
Dripped in Dior.
your
coming
city's
soon.
number one DJ. Come holler at your boy,
Where are
Ghost
you,
Boy.
Dad? Where are you, Dad?
Where
Next
are
single
you,
track
Dad?
That's
Coming
crazy.
soon in 2025.
Shit about to be killer.
And we gone.
Now you gotta
Word.
say it. You
That
gotta
was
say it the
fucking
last
amazing.
part.
Huh?
And it's like that.
And it's just like that.
There we go.